This dream season looks like it's turning into a nightmare. Ben Davis, Michael Barkan, this is Phillies Postgame Live. You know, you asked those who were around for the 1964 collapse. The Phillies were up 6.5 games with 12 games left. 6.5 games up with 12 left for the pennant to go right to the World Series in those days. You asked Ray Dittinger about it. He said he almost flunked out of Temple. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but they have a 5-game lead now for the first time since May 28th. They've lost 5 straight. They've lost 7 of 8. They've lost 12 of 16. Bryce Harper hasn't had a hit in 8 games. Last time he had a 2-hit game was before the All-Star break. Ben, when you size this thing up, I don't think there's a point now where you could be too concerned. We're watching this team, which has everybody now. They're fully loaded, they're fully armed, and they're struggling big time still. What can you tell us?
Michael, I would love to tell you that I'm not panicking, but I think we're there. I think we're there. 5 games up on the Braves, just 7 games up on the Mets. I think there's some major reason for concern here. The bats just aren't getting it done. You take a look at the standings here in the NL East. 5 games up. It almost looks like a misprint from where they were.
Yeah. Mets about to close it out, by the way, so it'll be 5 back for the Braves.
Right. So, I mean, this is just, I wouldn't say it's full-blown panic, but there's a high level of concern, Because, again, as we said in the 7th inning hit, it's not just the pitching, it's not just the offense, it's not the defense, it's not the base running. It's a culmination of everything as to why they're playing like this. And, yeah, I'm concerned.
All right, I'm sure Ruben Amaro Jr. is concerned. Let's go out to Seattle right now, where we call tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. Ruben, I don't think I can overstate it. Certainly it's game 109. There are, in quotes, plenty of games left. I get it. They can resume their winning ways. I get it. But yet they continue to lose. And I didn't even think Brian Wu was that great. I know, you know, he pitched like he was, but I'm thinking we weren't saying, wow, like we have with some other pitchers this team has faced. What did you think of tonight?
Well, I think Brian Wu actually
was really
threw
good.
the ball extremely well. He was really, really good. I mean, that fastball was explosive. And it doesn't look like he's working real hard out there because he got a nice, easy delivery, and the ball kind of explodes out of his hand. His, you know, riding fastball, 4-seamer, and he's got an excellent sinker. He was really good. But that said, I mean, the Phillies were out of this game after the 2nd inning. I mean, Victor Robles started it off with that home run right out of the chute, and then it was just a bombardment. And I have my concern about today with Tyler Phillips is that I felt like he was either tipping pitches. They were spitting on pitches that were actually pretty decent pitches, and then he was leaving some pitches in the middle of the zone, and they were crushing them. And I have a feeling that he may have been tipping some way, shape, or form. I know that that Rob Thompson's always on top of that kind of stuff, so they'll take a look at the film. But I mean, they were basically all over every single pitch that he threw, and they did some serious damage against him, obviously with the long ball, but. Yeah, that was a little bit of a concern. And obviously you have to be concerned about the offense. It's just not very good. And when you're taken out of a game that quickly, it's tough to really sort of regroup. It was nice to see them put together at least a little bit of a rally at the end of the game. But the fact of the matter is that they just have not swung the bats well at all. And you know, the fact that Bryce Harper is where he is right now, and the fact that he's been over for quite some time, that's a little alarming.
Ruben, I think the Mariners looked at Tyler Phillips and said, you know what, this guy's got 2 walks in 25 innings pitched this year. Let's attack early, much like we've seen them do against Zach Wheeler. They know he's going to be around the strike zone, and they attacked early. But tonight, Tyler Phillips did have 3 walks. That led to, obviously, the big innings there. But do you think they were just being uber aggressive because they know he's going to be in the strike zone?
Yeah, and at first that's what I thought. Yes, and I totally agree with you that he's been throwing so many strikes that, hey, why don't you just be swinging because he's going to be right around the strike zone. And I think that's what I thought at the beginning. And then I started thinking back on some of the pitches that we're seeing now. Some of the balls that were hit were out over the middle of the plate. But it almost looked like in the one case when Victor Robles hit a base hit on a breaking ball that was literally a foot off the plate, and it was almost like he was looking for an 0-2 breaking ball somehow. I don't know how you do that. That's when it sort of clicked in my head. Maybe he's tipping his pitches some way, somehow with his glove movement or something that he's doing with his hands. I'm sure they'll take a look at it. I don't know that that's the case, but at least you have to think about it a little bit.
Ruben, as a former GM, what do you do now but sit back and put your hands together and hope, in prayer? I don't know. We've been talking about whether or not the manager and coaches can do anything more. The consensus is that they can't. The players have to do it. The players aren't doing it. And we keep saying, okay, tomorrow they'll come out of it. And tomorrow they'll come out of it. And they're failing to do it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm as concerned as anybody right now. And I would have told you about a week ago or 5 days ago that I wasn't all that concerned. But now you got to be a little bit concerned. You got Kobe Allard throwing tomorrow. Obviously, they don't have their full complement of starters at this time. And that's a little bit of concern. But really, offensively, they just have not done the job. Turner's struggling. He's pounding baseballs to the third base side. He's not staying through the ball as he was earlier in the season. We know about, it's documented about Harper, but Schwarber also, although he did get a big, got a base hit to kind of get things going, hopefully try to get things going in the first inning, really couldn't do much with it after he got that base hit. And really, the Phillies have not taken great at bats lately, and the one guy or the two guys that are sort of fairly consistent are Castellanos and Alec Bohm, but they can't do it alone.
They sure can't. They sure can't. All right, Rube, thanks so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Ruben tomorrow, Jr.
Let's have a better one tomorrow. That was ugly, boys.
That was, yeah. Let's
make it better tomorrow.
Let's do that tomorrow. They snap out of it tomorrow.
Way
Ruben.
more betterer.
Again, more better. Again, my hands are together, saying please, and just not having his stuff, never having been through that before on the major league level, or was he tipping pitches and Seattle kind of had his number in that regard?
He could have been tipping, but I just look at it like his ball just didn't have any finish to it. It was flat. The sinker wasn't getting to the plate, and then that sharp turn down, it was just kind of getting to JT's mid, and half the time it wasn't even getting there because they were having their way with it. But I just think he didn't have finish. He looked a little gassed early on. And again, this team was all over it. They had an approach. I will give the Mariners credit. They had an approach going into tonight's ball game. They were going to be aggressive early. We saw it with Robles for the first pitch of the game, and then it just kept going after that. And they got elevated pitches in the middle of the plate. You look at that home run to Raley. I mean, that ball was
right there.
It was middle.
Mm-hmm.
So big league hitters don't miss that. I know Raley's hitting what, 228 after tonight, but with his 12th home run of this season, but. Big league hitters don't miss those pitches. I liked what I saw out of him tonight.
Out of Brian Wu. Yeah, unfortunately, Bryce Harper was a different deal. He's now 0 for his last 23. He's now 1 for his last 34. And just to be clear, hitless in his last 5 games, 1 hit in his last 8 games. But he is 1 for 34 in that span, in his last 8 games. That is a major struggle. That is a career worst struggle for Bryce Harper, and I don't know what gets him out of this slump, but in this 13 games, his average is 107, and I wonder what that does to his mentality and also how much his confidence has taken a hit, because he's a guy you would think that never loses confidence, even through a time like this. But it's got to affect him and compound it, doesn't it?
Without a doubt. And you realize that these guys are not immortal. These are human beings. They have egos. They have pride. And when you take a hit the way that Bryce Harper has taken a hit in these last so many games, it hurts. It hurts because you take a lot of pride in your craft and getting better and beating that pitcher on a daily basis. And right now, he's not doing that. And he is the pride, the heart and soul of this ball club. And I know we can pick on Bryce Harper. It's not just him that's not getting it done offensively, but he is a major contributor. And once he gets going again, I think you're going to see the rest follow suit and get going again, because he's the heart and soul of this lineup, and he needs to get back to where he needs to be. But you're right. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts when you put your head on the pillow at night and you start to think about your at-bats and you see the great pitches that you had to hit. When you're going good, you take care of those pitches. When you're not going good, those pitches, you either foul them off or swing through them. And right now, that's what Bryce is doing.
And I'm going to ask the question that maybe people are thinking at home. Is there anything that Rob Thompson can do with spots 1 through 4 or even 1 through 5 to juggle things around to make them snap out of it? Or do you just have to keep putting out Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Bohm, and that's it?
Yeah, that's what I think he's going to be able to do. He really is a big proponent of righty-lefty throughout the course of the lineup, and that's why you see these lineups constructed in the manner they are. I don't think he's going to change. He's not going to. You know, Schwarber's going to be at the top. He's been okay. I'm a little concerned with Trey as well. He's just getting a steady diet of fastballs and breaking balls away, and he has been uber aggressive at home plate as well. So, again, it's not just Bryce. There's a litany of guys right now that are going through something, and it's just we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it like this.
I think you can talk about a lot of things that went wrong tonight, but at the end of the day, I just wasn't throwing the ball over the plate. Fell behind all the batters, and it's pretty hard to pitch like that. You fall behind, you're forced to throw something in the zone, and if your stuff's not sharp or whatever it may be, you're going to end up getting hit, and that's what happened.
Does it feel like as a team right now, for you guys, like basically everything that can go wrong is going wrong just during the stretch?
It's baseball. I think every team goes through something like this, and it's just how you bounce back from it, and it's happened I think at every team that I've been with, and it's a good team. We talked about it today. We still have a really good record, and you just stick to it. You stick to the grind. You stay consistent. Put your work in, and I think it'll all start to work out.
Rob said he talked before the game. I mean, what kind of stuck out to you about his message, I guess?
I mean, we're still 20 games above 500. You know, again, like I said, you still have a really good team. You're going through this stretch, and in my experience in the game is as long as you stay within yourself and you stay within what the team is capable of doing, you stick to it, everything will work out.
I'm sure the home runs bother you, but to do the 3 walks and anything bother you more?
Yeah, I mean, if you really want me to answer honestly, the thing that bothers me the most is the fact that I just let the team down. I got all these guys in here relying on me. I got an entire fan base relying on me to go out there and do my job. I got my family relying on me, and it doesn't feel very good. The walks are no fun. Giving up the home runs are no fun. It's part of the game, and it finds a way to humble you quick. I think I've been throwing the ball really well up until this point, and today just wasn't my night. And all I know is that tomorrow I just get back to work, and I got a lot of work to do over this next week.
Is there?
Tyler Phillips, I love that young kid.
Very accountable.
Amazing. The road ahead presented by Genesis of Cherry Hill. 2 more at Seattle, and then to the Dodgers. You'll recall that prior to this mess, the Phillies had swept out Los Angeles here. Then they go to the Diamondbacks. They took 2 of 3 in June from Arizona here. We'll see what happens then at their place. And then the Marlins, and then Washington as the schedule perhaps gets a little bit easier, although this is baseball.